Hi, hello. If you hadn't noticed, this is a slightly less formal video than what I normally put on this channel, and the reason for that is kind of what we're here to talk about today. First off, if you're new to my channel, my name is Beckett, and I do socio-political commentary, and I want to thank you for clicking on this video. With all the things that are available to watch on YouTube at any time, I really appreciate that you chose to click on me. I hope if you like this video that you'll consider giving it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, as well as that you'll consider liking and subscribing, because I put out new content every Wednesday and I would hate for you to miss the next one because normally I put in a little bit more effort. So I'm sitting here on Sunday, May 30th, no makeup, bare, clean face, to talk about mental health and mental health awareness. If you didn't know, May was Mental Health Awareness Month. And with that kind of wrapping up, I didn't really know what to talk about this week. I normally shoot YouTube content on Thursdays, and it being Sunday, it's like the latest I've ever waited into the week to actually shoot something. But I thought it would be very fitting to talk about this today, being that the month of May is about to wrap up, and this is kind of why I've been putting off shooting this week. So I don't know if you caught my last video, and if you didn't, I will link it in the end card and also in the description so you can go and watch it. But what we talked about last week was ADHD, and specifically how it presents in older women like me, women who were kind of left behind in their youth because nobody recognized the signs of ADHD in us, and kind of how that affected our lives and how it still affects our lives, even in adulthood. So I thought this would be a fitting time to come on and talk about not just ADHD, but mental health in general. So if you're new to my content, I came from TikTok. I've had this YouTube channel actually for a very long time, but it ended up being a place for me to post my aerial work, and with the pandemic last year, I kind of stopped doing aerial, not by choice, but because of means and accessibility with everything closed and all that. So I didn't have anything to post on here, and I enjoy doing content on TikTok, so I thought I'd foray into the YouTube space as well, because I found that I have more to say than I can fit into 60 seconds. Although it's really funny because TikTok is testing out a new feature where you can upload 3-minute videos, and it's only accessible to a few content creators at the moment because I guess they're like testing out and rolling out the feature. And I haven't utilized it yet. I have access, but I haven't had the, I haven't had the will to make a 3-minute video on TikTok. But I make like 15-minute to 30-minute videos on YouTube. Go figure. But anyway, I wanted to talk about something that came up on my TikTok live last night, which has to do with mental health. My community on TikTok draws a lot of people who feel left on the fringes, people who feel left out, people in the margins. I have a lot of mutuals on TikTok who are like neurodivergent or trans or LGBTQ, or just people who feel on the fringes of society, NB, whatever it is. Because I feel like left-leaning content attracts those types of people. I also have a lot of people in my TikTok community who are struggling with mental health. And I think that sometimes those things, being on the fringes and struggling with mental health, go hand in hand, unfortunately, just because of the way our society treats our marginalized individuals. It's hard being on the fringe and feeling like you don't have any support. And I live in the US, where healthcare is not exactly accessible. And that goes doubly so for mental health care, because even if you are on a so-called government program for healthcare, that usually only covers medical and not psychological healthcare. So people pop into my comment sections when I talk about sensitive issues like this, or into my lives when I go live on TikTok, and ask me questions a lot about mental health struggles and issues, and kind of how to deal with that. And I am not a mental health specialist or expert. I'm probably not the first person that you should be talking to, but I do understand the draw to talking to creators who you feel an emotional connection. So there's this, and people who are influencers, and I'm not calling myself an influencer. I'm not big enough for that by any means yet. But talk about the parasocial relationship between creator and followers, where the followers may feel more comfortable opening up in certain aspects of their lives to the creators that they like to watch, more than anybody else around them, because they feel an emotional connection to them, because they feel like it's a friend who'll understand what they're going through. So that could be part of it. So this came up last night, like I said, in my live on TikTok, and I wanted to kind of share my experience with you guys on YouTube, out there on the interwebs, kind of my experience with mental health. And I don't know, I'm not here to give advice. I'm not here to tell you how to do anything or what to do, but maybe in sharing my experience, yeah, maybe it'll help somebody. So maybe if at the very least it'll make you feel less alone, then I've done my job. So 2018 was the hardest year of my life. It was very difficult in my job. The rules in California changed, and thus my job at the place that I worked had to change with it. And it became very difficult very quickly. I wasn't able to perform my job as effectively as I had previously. I felt like if you watch my channel, then you know my noisy fridge. I do these in my dining room, so there you go. Where was I? So the place that I worked was a small boutique aerial studio with no windows. It was very dark inside, and there was no natural light. And most of the time I was there alone. Basically what happened was, when I was on salary in 2017, I worked out my schedule where I could do most of my work that could be done remotely at home or on the road. Like I would go out and run errands and I'd still be able to answer the phone and stuff. And then I would go to the studio to do the physical tasks that I needed to do for work, and also to teach my classes, and practice aerial stuff and prepare for my classes and things like that. So when the rule change came in California in 2018, it was new requirements for salaried employees that we couldn't afford. So my job changed, and I had to physically be there, and I had to clock in and out. And this got very difficult because, like I said, it was a tiny space with no natural light, and I was required to physically be there during my work hours, and alone. I was there by myself. This is a lot. It's a lot, a lot of information that you don't need, but basically, yeah, it drove me crazy. It drove me mad. My work performance started to slip, and ultimately I ended up losing my job. I had a complicated relationship with my employer, so that's not really how I expected things to go, but that's what happened. And she was also the closest friend I had at the time, and that relationship soured, and I've regretted that ever since. I think that was probably my biggest regret. So I lost my job and then my best friend in like one blow. Very short, like within a week of that happening, I also heard back from an aerial showcase that the owner of the showcase thought I wasn't good enough for his free showcase. I wasn't a good enough aerialist to participate for free in his showcase, even during a time when he was short on performers and was emailing my friends about, hey, do you know anyone who's available? So that was a slap in the face. Ugh. And then on top of that, about a week after that happened, I then also lost my boyfriend, who I thought was my forever guy. He had given me no reason to think that. That was just kind of something that I cooked up in my head, but that's where we were. So it was a lot. It was a lot to lose in a very short amount of time. My best friend, my job, my boyfriend, my self-confidence, my confidence in my art, and my skill. And with that, I kind of went down this spiral of despair into existential crisis. I don't know how else to put it. I didn't know who I was or what I was doing here or what I wanted to do or what I had dedicated the last decade of my life to, because I had lost my own faith in my aerial skills, which was what I had dedicated my life to for a decade. Yeah, it was on top of the hard year I was already having. It was devastating. And I spun down this spiral of depression and despair that was really hard to pull myself out of. Thankfully, I had support from friends and family. They were amazing and so supportive, and I'm so grateful for all of them. And I know my family doesn't watch my channel, but if you are watching, then know how much I appreciated you in those moments. I don't know what would have happened if they hadn't been there, to be honest. It wasn't that I wanted to take my own life. It was just that I didn't see the point of continuing. That was the level of despair that I was at. I didn't have any hope or light for the future. And when depression gets to that level that you can't imagine, you can't even open up a possibility for hope for the future, that's why people make that decision not to continue, because what's the point? That's where I was at. Honestly, if it hadn't been for my support system and my family, I don't know that I would be here talking to you right now. So my heart goes out to anyone who is dealing with circumstances like that and lacking that support system. I can't even imagine. Everything comes to an end. Everything. Even the bad stuff. And I hope you see it through. If you're watching this and you're on that side of things right now. I'm first of all, I know saying I'm sorry doesn't help, but I am. I'm sorry for what has happened to you and what you're going through. And I want you to know that you can get through it. It does require strength, but I believe in you. I know we don't know each other personally, but I still believe in you. This is a safe place. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a crisis line. I don't know the right thing to say in certain situations, but know that I support you and that you are valuable. Because if I hadn't had someone to tell me that when I was at my lowest, I don't know what I would have done. So coming back to Mental Health Awareness Month, which was this last month that just recently passed, that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. I'm kind of in a mental health weird space right now. Nowhere near where I was in 2018, but I'm just having a hard time putting together the systems by which I want to live my life. I know I'm tired of doing what I've been doing to make money, but I still need to pay my bills. So I'm just going through some things with trying to figure that out, trying to figure out what the best way to spend my time is, but also dealing with, like I had discussed in my previous video, the symptoms of ADHD that lead to lack of motivation and just burning anxiety that I'm not doing everything that I could. And that makes me push it off and procrastinate more, which is why I waited until Sunday to film a video for this. Also, you know, just having a hard time getting up and doing anything other than wasting time on YouTube and TikTok lately. Feeling supremely unmotivated to clean my house. It's a disaster right now. To put on makeup, to put in any effort at all. Which is not great because my work is sliding because of it. But like I said, I'm very disillusioned with the thing that I do for work right now. So just trying to figure out how to be excited about life again. I think part of it is also the fact that we've been in this pandemic situation for over a year, and I know it's starting to kind of alleviate now, and things are more or less going back to normal-ish. But what does that even mean? I mean, for me, I'm still doing the same work that I did before the pandemic. The only thing is all my studios are closed, so I don't have the outlet that I used to have. You know, rebuilding, trying to rebuild. But now I'm also living alone now. I used to have my brother here, and that was awesome. But now it's just me. So going a little stir crazy, I think. But that makes me, but also experiencing social anxiety. It's a lot. It's a lot of different layers of things affecting my mental health right now. But just know that I'm okay, and it's really nothing near the worst of what I've dealt with. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday week. I intend to keep this channel up, and I intend to post every week. And that's why I'm here making this video right now, because I didn't want to, I almost said I didn't want to slack. Ugh, that's such a bad word. I'm trying to get capitalist language out of my mouth, but I didn't want to break the commitment that I had made to this channel when I restarted it a couple of months ago. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.